You are a moral zombie. If you don't care about posterity, what is posterity? It's one of those abstract words that uneducated people don't care about. It means future generations, and if you don't intend to have children, it's not your area of interest. So that's understandable that you wouldn't care about future generations and you wouldn't want to promote or support policies that safeguard the interests of future generations. And it's basically not leaving your society like not well, like a place you should have cleaned but didn't, or kept clean but didn't. And I'm not talking about the housekeeping, of course, because this is a kind of moral housekeeping that people aren't really interested in. Not even academics in academia. Moral philosophy is something that, well, it's very specialized minority interest, and not many people are equipped to discuss it, and not many people want to discuss these things with me. So you would be in a minority of a minority if you um, were able and willing to discuss these things with me. It's certainly not discussed in mainstream media. Why is it important? Well, it's about future generations. I mean, we have to assume that people want to carry on. They want their group to remain in existence and apart from others. Well, they say they do, but can they even do the thinking exercises required to bring this about? To agree on the meaning of words and what is necessary, even in theory? They're not prepared to do that. I don't see this anywhere. Thank you, Howard, for saying that childless people have no vested interest in the future of any culture of the education of children. They are a danger and should not be allowed. There are children who need to be adopted. Well, the problem is the denial of it. So I think the greatest culprits are the people who claim to care about their country. You know, people who call themselves nationalists. They are the ones most unable to discuss matters of morality. They are the ones who don't get it. And even their leaders who have been to a good university, like Nick Griffin, who got his law degree at Downing College in Cambridge, doesn't discuss these things because I think he just talks down to the plebs, doesn't he? He just tweets, um, his views in Telegram, and he doesn't engage with any of the others. Not that the others engage with other people, except those who already agree with them. So that would be Mark Collett, who only issues orders because he's got this political party that he thinks is going to be the great white hope of the British people. But he's too afraid to have a discussion with me. Just imagine if he won a few local elections or even a by-election. What is he going to say to the media when they interview him? He doesn't expect to be interviewed. Not now, not ever. He might have gone to, is Leeds a Russell Group University? Anyway, he didn't have a relevant degree in the humanities. Perhaps that's why he doesn't particularly want to talk to me. I have a degree in law. Well, I could have a discussion with Nick Griffin, but I don't think he will be discussing anything with me. Because Nick Griffin is really the most educationally qualified nationalist able to discuss things like future generations, posterity, morality, mores, culture. So we have to go above the incels, the unmarriageable men. So we have to go to married fathers. Nick Griffin is a married father. He may even be a grandfather, possibly of legitimate children. Legitimate grandchildren, I should say. These days, you never know. So I'm saying marriage is key. Marriage is key to patriarchy. Without marriage, without the practice of marriage, you won't have a patriarchy, and therefore you won't have enough good, strong men capable of defending the national interest. And that is why the West is a society suffering from an immune deficiency. So whatever that is going round that is stupid or evil or degenerate will be promoted, and the men will complain but be helpless as women. And they won't say anything because of their atheism and their nihilism, and their atheism tells them that this is the only life, and their nihilism tells them that it would be stupid to suffer for anything. That is related to a principle, defending it, promoting it. So it can't be done. These pathetic men in a matriarchy are all lower in status than the unmarried mother, including POTUS. And this is what the West is, right now. And nobody will discuss it because they already know. They already know. How things are stacked against them, so they're not even going to fight or protest. And all they are left with is the feminine stratagem of denial, and they'll say, it ain't so. So while they deny the nature of their predicament, the problem gets worse. So it seems that Western civilization is dying of bystander apathy, while I'm trying to think of qualified nationalism who would be in a position to know what I'm talking about. That would be Nick Griffin. But he's only interested in talking to his echo chamber. Howard says, childless people, useless eaters who are just waiting for death, using resources that could benefit humanity. The vote should be restricted to parents only because only parents have vested interest. Also, schools Only parents should be allowed in schools or in any job caring for children. Feminism is a coven for childless crones who cannot keep their molting claws of other people's kids. Howard understands. So yeah, what is Nick Griffin doing? He's got legitimate children. He may have a grandchild or two who may or may not be legitimate. What is he to say about it? Hmm? Maybe somebody could ask him. Well, actually, I'm on Twitter now. I suppose I could ask him myself, but it would come better from other people, because what that would show is that I command some moral support amongst people who identify themselves as nationalists, who actually want to be married fathers, married parents even. Let's not be sexist about it. But if there isn't, well, then it's all a lost cause, isn't it? If you have legitimate children and you don't care whether they have legitimate children themselves or if you have any descendants, well, what's the point of even giving these people booster jabs, eh? Let them go. I mean, China only took so much care of its own people because it recognized that its people did work and were productive and wanted to become married parents, so they were worth keeping around, not a bunch of boomers who've had their innings, who voted for, well, policies that have proven to be damaging and even now can't admit their mistake. Anyway, those who are moral zombies will be heedless, and those who care probably won't get round to doing anything much, because men in a matriarchy won't be able to organise so much as a piss up in a brewery, because they'll be too afraid of their feminist overlords, or should I say overladies.